I'm 32 and have been with my fiance for 5 years. We were supposed to get married last August, but made the tough decision to postpone our big day until August 2022 because a lot of our older family members had expressed concerns with flying and being around a crowd of people. I met him at work. We were both hairstylists at a higher end salon. It's not really a creative environment. Occasionally you'll get someone who wants rainbow hair, but other than that, it's very generic colors and cuts. Like 9 months ago, he told me he was feeling really depressed and stagnant at work and wanted to quit and work in a more creative environment. I supported him and he started working at a new salon within a month. Literally everyone who works there is in their early to mid 20s besides him. He was instantly so much happier, and within a few weeks he expressed a desire to start trying for a family and wanted me to come off the pill. I told him I thought it would be better to wait a little while, preferably after the wedding, because he wasn't bringing in the same money he used to. Some of his clients followed him, but the majority didn't, so his book/money was cut in half. His birthday is in May and he brought up trying again and how he's in a good place at work and the timing's right. I agreed to come off birth control and not really trying to prevent it or thinking it would take months to get pregnant. I got pregnant in June, 20 weeks and 4 days, and we're both excited for the next chapter of our lives together. In July, he changes his hours and starts working more. He tells me it's because he wants to be able to have money set aside for the baby because I won't be working for 6 to 8 weeks after birth. I thought it was sweet that he was trying to provide for the baby. 2 weeks ago, he sits me down crying and telling me that he effed up. I'm thinking that he got fired, but it turns out he cheated on me with his 20-year-old apprentice that's under him. I was in complete shock. He told me that it's been going on since he found out I was pregnant because all of a sudden things got real and he couldn't handle it. I told him I couldn't deal with all of this now and that he needed to get out and stay with friends or family. He's been calling and texting me nonstop and apologizing, wanting to work on things, but he won't quit. I don't trust him and I don't think I can unless he leaves his job and isn't around her all the time. I've talked to my therapist about this and I really don't know what the right answer is here. I'm not pissed, I'm hurt. He's going to be in my life forever one way or another. I told him that I'm 99% sure this is something that I can't get over. Him not being involved is not an option. I would never be that cruel. He'll be a great father and he's so good with kids. However, I don't know what to do and any advice would be great. This morning, my daughter's alarm was going off for 30 minutes, so I went in to check on her and she was very pale. There was a large blood stain on her bedsheet, and when I pulled that down, almost her whole shirt was drenched in blood. I had my husband call an ambulance and asked her what happened. She told me that the day before, a girl who'd been bullying her threatened her with a knife in the bathroom, and when my daughter tried to defend herself, the bully accidentally stabbed her in the stomach. I was shocked because I thought she had been exaggerating about the extent to which this girl was bullying her. When she was younger, she almost got a teacher in trouble for accusing her of touching her inappropriately, and since then I've taken everything that she says with a grain of salt. The ambulance arrived and took her to the hospital, and when they found out that she'd been stabbed, they contacted the police. My husband and I were questioned for not noticing it or reporting it, and we told him the truth. We had no idea it even happened. We later asked her about how she hid it, and she got super snarky, saying, "It's easy when you have parents who don't care." I later got the real explanation, saying that since it was towards the end of the school day, she put on a sweater over it, drove home, threw the shirt that she was stabbed in the dumpster, and when we had gotten home, she was apparently wearing 2 shirts and a hoodie so there wouldn't be any bleeding. She expected the bleeding to stop by then, but it didn't. We asked her why she hid it and she said, "I didn't want anyone to see me." I know what she meant. When she was about 10, she suddenly got very weird about removing clothing, calling everything covered by shorts and a t-shirt private. She'd never go to the pool or beach with us, and she would have meltdowns at the doctor's office and wouldn't even let me or my husband hug her for a while. I, frankly, was hurt that she would rather hide herself and lie to us than to get help after being stabbed, but I didn't express this. I don't know what to do. I have to be there when the police question her tomorrow, and I'm worried about what she'll say. I've sat in on a therapy session with her, and it seems like she lied to the therapist about us. What will she say to the police? I don't know how to deal with any of this and need some advice. I have a best friend named Tina who I've known most of my life. We've had a strong friendship from middle school all the way until we graduated from the same college. We've always been there for each other and I tell her pretty much everything. Back in junior year of high school, a guy named Rod sexually assaulted me at a house party. He never apologized for it, and it put me in a deep downward spiral to the point where I almost wanted to drop out in order to never see his face again. I told Tina about it and she did everything she could to support me. Fast forward to early 2020. Tina and her boyfriend Josh announced they were getting engaged and Tina wanted me to be the maid of honor. I was beyond excited to do it. We've always talked about being each other's maids of honor. There was another detail though. Josh had a similar friendship history with his best man, and they thought it would be adorable if the maid of honor and best man worked together on everything and were their own second package on the wedding day. I guess it was their way of making us feel a little more excited for weddings of our own. I found out that the best man was going to be Rod, and he and Josh remained best friends after high school. I thought Rod was just in the friend group, but it turns out that they're as close as could be. My heart sunk and I simply didn't know how to respond. They expected us to work together and be together the whole wedding process, and that sounded like literal hell. I started to think about whether Tina ever told Josh or that Josh heard and just didn't care. All I know is that I was having second thoughts about the wedding after that. I texted Tina about my concerns with Rod coming in the most polite way possible, and she sent me this. "I know about what happened with you guys back in the day, but Rod seems like a great guy now. It would just really mean a lot if you could just push that memory away for the duration of this. Please, just trust me." I don't know how to respond to this, and luckily the wedding planning process has been at a halt since COVID. I haven't responded to her since that text, but now this has really been bugging me. If I say no, it would probably break her heart, but I just don't know if I can handle working with my rapist. Am I wrong for not wanting to work with him during her wedding? Part 2, my best friend wants me to work with my rapist on her wedding. I finally replied to Tina with, "I've had time to think about it and I just can't be your maid of honor anymore. It's so hurtful that you're telling me to pack up my trauma for who knows how long until your wedding day. I just can't do it. I don't think I'll come at all knowing that he's going to be there. I'm sorry. An hour later, I get a call from Josh. He asked me what's going on with me and Tina and that she was extremely upset. A part of me snapped and I said, I don't know, what's going on with you making someone who raped me your best man? He was confused and I repeated myself. He was silent for a few seconds and then asked if he could come over. I was a little wary of the idea, but I said sure. He comes to my apartment 40 minutes later without Tina. Tina had told Josh that the reason I wasn't coming to the wedding was that I didn't want to work with Rod, because I had a crush on him, and that she was forcing the relationship too much. So basically, she said that we had a petty girl fight. My jaw hit the floor and I was fuming. She had obviously never told Josh what Rod did to me. I shared that Rod had raped me back in high school and that Tina knew about it. I asked if he knew too. He said he didn't, but at one point Rod did mention a few crazy bitches falsely accused him of rape senior year. This obviously didn't include me since I only told Tina and a few family members. Josh believed him at the time, but I guess after hearing me say it, it's starting to dawn on him that his friend was a liar. I could see on Josh's face and body language that the realization really weighed down on him and I felt bad. He thanked me for telling him and left. I was expecting an angry text to come from Tina, and sure enough, I got it at like midnight. She went off saying that I'm gonna end up destroying their marriage, how I could do that to her, etc, etc. I just pressed the block button and went to bed. I'm gonna try to connect with other friends and try to move on from this. If I'm feeling brave enough, I might try to find these crazy bitches and see if we can make a case against Rod.